War Eagle guys, Strictly Auburn is back after 6 weeks off. Christmas break, winter break, whatever you want to call it. We are back. It's basketball season, and Auburn is rolling. I'm Jake Lazarus with Eli Lingo, Connor King. Auburn basketball ranked inside the top 10 again. We're breaking it down. Let's go. How are we feeling about being ranked number 8, guys? How does it feel?
Dude, it feels amazing.
It feels
Feels
rewarding.
great.
I feel like the nation finally understands who we are as a team, and that feels great.
Yeah.
It feels pretty good. I mean, Auburn started this season unranked, right? Came in inside the 20s, moved up to 16, then 13 last week. Now inside the top 10 for the first time since the final poll of the 21-22 season. Jabari Smith, Walker Kessler, 2 NBA stars now. So this team is legit. I mean, they're legit. 16-2 record, perfect in conference play, 5-0. This week is their true toughest test coming up with games at Alabama and then at Mississippi State. But let's take a look back at what we've missed over break. The 2 losses coming against Baylor, which was before break, and then at Appalachian State, which was during break. Eli, I'll start with you. What do you see during over break and in this team that makes this team special, and whether number 8 is the ceiling, the floor, or what you expect?
Yeah, I mean, I think this should be the answer for everybody is like how well our bench is played. I mean, it's literally the best bench in the whole country. They put up the most points. They play just like another starting 5, which that's what I think Bruce Pearl has tried to do hit this since he's been here, and he finally got that bench that he's been dying to have this whole time. And watching these guys play, and then other guys that we didn't expect to just kind of come off the wall, like Jalen Williams and Dylan Cardwell and guys like that are playing out of their absolute mind. They're really, I think they're all hitting their full potential right now, which is incredible to see.
I kind of want to touch on that one stat there. Auburn, their bench is the highest scoring bench of all Power 5 teams, and that's by more than a 5 points per game margin. I mean,
crazy.
That's a lot of points off the bench. And I kind of want to talk about the guys that you mentioned. Dylan Cardwell has elevated his game to a level I don't think any of us saw coming. Trey Donaldson off the bench is a beast, puts up over 3 assists a game, over 7 points per game, is a great second point guard. Connor, what do you see in this team? I mean, you're definitely our biggest basketball guy out of the 3 of us. So what do you see in this team that makes it so special?
I see a whole lot of selflessness. All of these guys, they don't care about their statistics. They don't care about any of that. They just want to get the ball in the basket and play as good as defense as they can. And that's what you said, like Trey, I think he has over 7 points per game. He could easily have 15, 16 points per game. He has that potential as a player. But there are so many guys on the court that are always that always have open looks that it's great to see. I love how all of our players, they know when to pass. Like Denver Jones, for example, he was at FIU last year, scored over 20 points per game. He doesn't have that this year, and it's not because he's digressed as a player. He's looking for other open looks for his other guys, and it's a great thing to see, and I hope it continues all season.
I mean, I think the other thing that's different this year than last year, and even in teams past, this team doesn't turn the ball over. When we're looking at assist to turnover ratio, this team is 7th in the entire country, 2nd in the SEC, only behind Kentucky, who, I mean, we'll get into a little bit later, but these 2 teams are on a collision course. I mean, ball security, that's something we saw last year was an issue with the guard position, especially down low in the block, with Janai Broom struggling to hold on to the ball. When Dylan would come into the game, it was tough. But this year, this team holds on to the ball, and I think that's huge. You score, you convert your easy looks when you're getting looks around the rim. You're converting at the free throw line. When you get open threes, knock them down. Contested ones, pass them up. We got guys that'll hit the open one, and guys,
Exactly.
Janai down low. Jalen Williams will be effective in the post. So this team is going to be effective down the stretch, no doubt in my mind. Is there a player maybe that kind of came out of nowhere that you guys love to see? Because there's 10 guys on this team who all average double-digit minutes. And Lior is that swing man who could be 11 by the end of the year if he plays some more. But, Eli, I'll start with you. Is there a guy who's driving the success of this team that we might not be thinking of?
I mean, I think Chad Baker, CBM is one of those guys that the past couple of games has really made a name for himself. He's had double-digit scoring the past couple of games, and he's just he's hitting on all cylinders right now. And then some guy, low key, a sleeper right now is Chaney Johnson. He just had a good game against Ole Miss. A little low key, he had a couple of big dunks. I think he even had like a 3-pointer in there. So Chaney Johnson, then and CBM are two guys that I would keep a lookout for.
And how about at the end of that game when Chaney came running down, time was winding down with the bench squad in and the effort was still there. It's something
just
special.
sent that dude stuff. Oh my gosh.
Connor, who are you looking for?
I got to go with Dylan Cardwell. And if you've watched Strictly Auburn, that's kind of surprising. I'm super critical of Dylan almost all the time. But yeah, this little stretch of games he's played in, he's done amazing. He boxes out every time a shot goes up, which he used to kind of be lazy down low a bit. He's much better shot selection. And like you said earlier, he doesn't turn the ball over as much anymore. He's become a complete player, and he knows his role on this team. And every time he's on the court, there is a complete new life given to that Auburn team. And it makes me happy how much he's improved as a player over the years.
I think the other big thing is Dylan at the free throw line. I mean, we could say the same about this entire Tigers team that shoots, I'm sure it's well over 75, 80% from the free throw line. But Dylan Cardwell specifically, last year he shot like 33-ish% from the free throw line, so you could hack a shack with him in the game. This year, 68.8%, just shy of 69, 70%, which for a center, that threshold, I mean, catch the ball down low and go up. Big boy will shoot free throws. We don't care. Free points.
And Connor, you mentioned the way he boxes out. Hold up, this train's coming.
We love the Auburn train.
Gotta love it. It seems like every time we record, we always have to have it in.
Yep.
But you would think it's like a sound effect by now. But, I mean, like what Connor mentioned, the way Dylan has been able to box out, and he's not just boxing out and kind of fumbling around. He's passing it to open shooters like Denver Jones, Trey Donaldson, Aiden Holloway, those kind of guys that are easily going to make those shots every single time you give them the ball. And that's a huge part of our offense, and I'm glad to see Dylan's doing that.
I think if I had to pick a player that's kind of carrying this team a little bit, not carrying's not the right word, but Jalen Williams, dude. I don't think we knew he was a good player. There was no doubt in any of our minds, even last year, he was a solid player. And the year before on the Jabari and Walker team, he was a great player, right? He was probably the third best player on that team. But he never saw the starlight, never got starts on that team. Now he is arguably
he's playing,
the best player on this team. Second leading scorer behind Janai. He could put up a double-double every single night. Connor, you talked about selflessness. He's a guy that could put up a double-double every single night if he wanted to. Has games where he goes over 20 points, that is. So I think if it's anybody, his shooting ability, his playmaking ability, his ball handling ability, his ability to shoot from the free throw line, behind the arc, is key to success for this Auburn team. And they'll kind of go as he goes. And we didn't even mention Aiden Holloway, freshman.
There's just so many players on this team, man. Oh, my God.
He'll shoot from the logo. And I think the difference between him and what was Wendell Green or Jalen Harper, this kid can handle the ball. Like, he's so good with the ball and just as a playmaker. And he doesn't turn it over. Right? With Wendell, we saw him. He was a great ball handler, but too many turnovers. Aiden he's like Spider-Man.
And he makes almost all of his shots too, which is
he's at about he's at about like 3.3 assists a game. So he's passing the ball. Like Connor said, I think this is one of the biggest takeaways that we can have from this team is how selfless this team is. I mean, if Aiden Holloway was on a team like Alabama or any other SEC team, he's probably dropping 20 points a game easy because that's what he would have to do. But again, like in a system like Bruce Pearl's, he gets to lay back, chill, make all the flashy dribbles, all the cool assists, lobs, and he can shoot the lights out too.
And by the way, we didn't even touch on the efficiency of this defense. We'll leave that for another time. But when you got 10 guys, 11 guys that rotate in and out, and you're giving 115% effort, man, one of these Bruce Pearl's teams ready to make a run. Speaking of making a run, starts this week. Tough week. This team will go to Alabama on Wednesday night in Coleman Coliseum. Alabama's coming off a 20-point loss at Tennessee last week. And then without coming back to Auburn, this team will travel to Starkville to take on Mississippi State. Alabama's the better team, bigger competition, the team up north. I'm excited. What are you guys looking for in this game? ESPN gives Alabama a 63.3% chance to win. Connor, I'll start with you. How are you feeling about our Tigers against the Crimson Tide?
I'm feeling confident. Now, Alabama's going to play their best game this week, of course. You know, this is like their Super Bowl this year. Alabama is obviously a lot worse than last year, and I don't expect Coleman to be full unless it's orange and blue. But at the end of the day, this is our rival, and it's going to be a huge matchup. Alabama's a super athletic team. They play good defense, but their zone got exposed completely this weekend at Tennessee. I think that Auburn needs to come in, and they need to shoot as well as they can. I think everything else will kind of lay its hand, but Alabama is not much of an efficient team. They got a lot of athletes, but I think we can capitalize real early against Tuscaloosa.
Eli, what are you looking for from our Auburn Tigers to have success this week?
Yeah, I mean, I think, how we beat everybody else is keeping guys on the court fresh and being selfless and just making plays when we need to make plays. I don't think Bama's a really good team this year. And then, the Coliseum, that place is abysmal. Nobody likes to go watch basketball games there. They say it's a rowdy place. It's not. It's been frauded all season long with, screenshots of nobody in there and tennis match comments. It sucks. But there will be more Auburn fans in there than Alabama fans this Wednesday. I would say that low key. So we'll see. But I think Auburn does for sure.
I would love to see that. Auburn is in need desperately of a big quad one win, and Alabama is surely that. Auburn's
is this a trap game?
I don't see it as a trap game. I think this Auburn team is that good.
Mississippi State will be the trap game.
I've said it since November when basketball season started. I think this team is legit. I think the ceiling of this team is a number one overall, a number one seed in the NCAA
SEC
tournament in March.
Yeah. Oh, NCAA. Yeah.
Number one overall seed in the SEC tournament. Yeah, I think this team is the best team I've seen in the last 4 years, including that 21-22 team. I just think this team is so deep, so efficient, so good. Shoots well from the free throw line. Last year, I thought that team was good, but when it came to shooting free throws, I mean, we were set to win that Houston game in the round of 32, but free throws, I mean, can't hit your free throws, you can't win a basketball game. And then in 21-22, it was layups. We couldn't hit a layup against Miami in the second round. So hopefully that turns around this year. I mean, looking a little bit ahead, like I said before, we're set for a collision course with Kentucky, the number 2 overall team in the SEC.
Boy.
If you look at the standings now, they're ranked number 6. Auburn's ranked number 8. If both teams win out, is there a chance, Eli, Connor, that we see a 1 versus 2 or a 2 versus 3 or something crazy like that?
Definitely
Eli.
a top 5.
Yeah, like Connor, a top 5, and that just the thought of that game in Neville Arena. Is that game on a Saturday?
Yep. 5
Oh,
p.m. Saturday.
Saturday.
That
February
sounds like
17th.
They need to call the National Guard in for that because that's going to be insane.
College game day may come over and give us.
That's actually a good point right there. College game
Well,
day.
you know what I'm thinking, guys? Pearlville 3.0 for the 3rd year in a row. Strictly Auburn will be there. I'm kind of thinking Thursday. Maybe we'll make some content out of it. Maybe we'll set up a table. Maybe we'll do a show from a tent. I don't know. Just throwing out some feelers. But we'll see. You guys got anything else to add about Auburn sports? Maybe some recruiting news coming in February?
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about some recruiting news in February, hopefully.
Number one point guard coming to visit Auburn real soon. So
that too. We got some basketball recruiting stuff in the spring. We got some baseball coming up in February. I think February 16th is opening day. Not positive about that, but I think it's the 16th. So we'll see.
He's
and
doing
A-Day
his
is in the
thing too.
spring.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hugh's everywhere
sports
right
coming
now.
up. Well, Strictly Auburn's back for the spring. Let's go. Follow us on Twitter at Strictly Auburn. Go follow us on our Instagram also at Strictly Auburn because that's the name of the show. We'll try and get some more activity on those 2 platforms. Let's go. War Eagle. Oh, yeah, and like and subscribe. Strictly or Eagle Eye Sports. Let's go. I'm Jake Lazarus, Eli Lingo, Connor King, War Eagle.